Hello everyone, welcome to the start of a new series. For the last year or so I have had this poster sitting on my wall just in front of my PC and painting area, and it's been calling to me to further embrace my nerd side and make videos on these chapters one by one. Despite what this poster is named, this is not all the chapters of the Adeptus Astartes, not even all the ones we know across the lore. We know of around 300 named Space Marine chapters in the lore, with at least 700 unnamed. However, the old statement of there being 1,000 Space Marine chapters is almost certainly null and void since the return of Guilliman and the start of the Ultima founding. So for this video, it's time we talk about the first chapter, is shown in this beautiful poster here. The Angels of Redemption. This second founding chapter of the Dark Angels, adorned in halved down the middle, green and bone-white armour, would be established in the wake of the Horus Heresy. But unlike most of the second founding chapters of the Space Marines, there is very little known about the Angels of Redemption. We have no idea who the current chapter master is, there are no named characters in the lore, we have no idea of their chapter homeworld, they are a complete mystery. But there are some things that we do know. The Angels of Redemption are extremely fixated on the hunt for the fallen, being described as, and I quote here, utterly dedicated to hunting the fallen so much that they frequently abandon all else in its pursuit. They, as one of the Unforgiven chapters, take it upon themselves to do this duty to exonerate themselves for the shame of the fallen, regularly choosing battle zones that will put them in close proximity to suspected fallen outcroppings where they may appear. This is seen very clearly in their only spoken of notable campaign, the Gatling Hive Incident. This story, from the 4th edition Dark Angels Codex, shows the Angels of Redemption arriving on an unknown world to assist in the defense of Gatling Hive from an Orc invasion. Assisting the militia in its defense, however, when they got wind of fallen activity nearby, the Angels of Redemption would abandon Gatling Hive on the eve of the final Orc assault, leaving 7 companies of Gatling Hive militia to stand up against almost 3 million Orcs. The chapter would capture this member of the Fallen, a former company master named Balakai. The Angels of Redemption would see this as a complete victory, however, Gatling Hive would fall and everyone inside would be killed. It is for this reason that the Angels of Redemption have not faced censure for this crime, however it is theorized within the Codex that the Inquisition would sanction them heavily. This includes downright excommunication. I think it's important for me to say that during my research I found mention of a story within the Deathwatch RPG lore. No source was cited, so this could be entirely made up, but apparently the entirety of the first and second companies of the Angels of Redemption would arrive to an Imperial Guard fortress world where they would demand access to the world's dungeons. When they were refused access, they would storm the fortress, seize several stasis caskets, and leave without further explanation. Once more, I want to preface that if this is true, there is no source stated. If someone is able to find that source, that would be fantastic, as I would love to know. But for now, that is everything, people. I hope you have enjoyed this look in on the Angels of Redemption. And with that said, I have been your host, Rez, and I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. See you next time.